Welcome to the Land Your Bets Sports Betting Live Show. What's good, everybody? Got some people already jumping into the comments. Appreciate y'all. What's up, Nate? What's up, Nicholas? What's up, MF Zoom? That's a great name. Let's see what we got in here for some looks. I'm going to be going through what you guys want to look at, as always. What's good, Aramis? Going to let people jump in here. I'm starting a couple minutes late, so we should already have a couple of folks waiting in line with some bets. So we're going to take a look at those. Got a slow-mo bet coming in from Nicholas as well. We could take a look at that for sure. I'm going to start getting some stuff onto the up next screen. So if you are new, jump into the comments. Let me know what you guys want to bet on. I've got the bottom line scrolling with what I've got already. So if you do want to know what the bets are, they're going to continuously be on the bottom line. Also going to get those bets into the comments of this video. So I'll pin the final plays that we make. I'll have some leans as well, so we can make sure that you guys know what I like from the stuff you bring, even if I don't bet it. Let's take a look. Quincy's coming in with Ant unders. What's good, Free Sauce? What's good, Larry? What's good, 36 Chambers? Woke up from the nap. Flo Farrow, got y'all in here, man. Appreciate you guys for real. 7 got feeling Kyrie P+R under. All right, we can take a look at Kyrie. I'm going to take a look at everybody. We'll do what we did yesterday. I'll be throwing stuff into the tool here to make sure that we get everything we need and that we're not getting gypped on any of these prices and all that good stuff. So I'll have that going. I'm going to share my screen here in just a minute and tell you guys and look at what you guys have. So once again, if you are new, get in there with those bets that you want to look at, and we'll go over that stuff together. And I'm going to put a couple things on the screen here that I want to look at while we let people roll in. All right. So actually, you know what? I'm already in the comments. So let me get some of the stuff you guys are tossing out here, because I know y'all want to look at stuff. We got Gafford over 5.5 boards. Put that in there for QNZ Finest. Let's look at Gafford boards. I saw the look for Slow-Mo Anderson, Kyle Anderson. So I'll put that up as well. Call him Slow-Mo if you don't know that's his name. Slow-Mo, the bet, and I think that's probably a pretty good look for Slow-Mo. There's gonna have to be some stuff that changes up, so we'll take a look at it for sure, and we'll look at that. Luka gonna go off. That's fair. I think that's probably fair. I don't know what they're gonna do to stop Luka, but I do have some looks here for the game in general that I want to go through real quick before I bring up my screen and look at what you guys have. So the first thing I want to do though is just go through the matchups again real quick. I put this in the video that I put out last night, projections video. So go ahead and subscribe to that page if you're not, is what I'm trying to say, so that you can get this stuff early when it comes out. Hang on one sec. All right. Get a little dark in this room. So this is how things matched up, right? And the key that I want to talk about for 1 sec is basically the matchup between, let me get the bottom line off for a minute. Basically, DJJ, I'm sorry, I actually want to look at the opposite matchup. This is going to be pretty much what you see, right? Like, you're going to keep getting this as the matchup on defense for the Mavs. So the Mavs are going to keep going center, power forward, Conley and Irving on each other, DJJ on Ant, Luka on JMD. So if you're somebody that's going back and forth between Jaden McDaniels and Luka and not like over or not over, was he just hot for a few games? There is something to the idea that Luka's guarding him. And when Luka's guarding you, things are available, right? Like, dude is just standing in the corner, chilling, maxing out, and just waiting for things to come to him rather than ever really bring in the defense to anybody. He might not still be getting those rebounds, even though he's standing on the baseline, because he's still going to need those things to kind of just fall into his lap. So I'm not necessarily there with Luka boards, but for Luka defense against Jaden McDaniels, it ain't going to be there. So if you do want to bet on Jaden McDaniels, there's more to it than just JMD went off for a few games in a row. So, you know, I'm just going to take the recent numbers. Like, you know, on this show, we don't just do recent numbers as a reason to take a bet, right? So the logic moving forward would be his matchup is the worst defender on the other team, right? There's no question that everybody else besides Luka on that squad is amazing defensively. Even Kyrie, especially on Mike Conley. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to Mike Conley overs in this series the way that we were in the last couple series where he was just hot as all hell, right? The more important stuff to look at real quick for the matchups before we get into these bets is the idea of who is Ant Edwards going to guard. That's what this comes down to, because Ant was tired last game, man. And he wasn't just tired because he was running all over the floor trying to chase Kyrie Irving around. It was also because of the fact that, I'm putting up the right thing here. It was also because of the fact that he wasn't allowed to get anywhere on defense. So I'm bringing up his shot chart real quick. I put this in the video as well. Actually just disappeared. Come on, StreamYard, do better. But for Ant, the shot chart was what it was because of the defense. It wasn't truly his fault, to be honest with you. If you look at where he shot from, 4 of these babies inside the paint, or inside the, well, they were pretty much right around the paint, but inside the arc. Everything else is outside the 3-point line for Ant in this last game. And that's because there was a wall, man. There was the free throw line, and the free throw line extended all the way out to the 3-point line. There was at least 2 dudes always on Ant. And even if they weren't right on him, they were right inside the 3-point line, right? So if he wants to get ahead of steam and get going into the paint, he's going to have to earn that. And that's going to be tiring in and of itself. So you probably will continue to see him shoot those threes from outside and kind of settle a bit. He hit a lot of them. He was 5 for 12. It was great. But the most important thing for Dallas was 4 shots that he took inside the 3-point line. That's incredible defense, just incredible. Maybe we see him be a little bit more aggressive, but I think that the script is a bit out on how to make sure that he can't get his with the way that this team lines up on offense for Minnesota. So keep that in mind. If you want to fade Luka after a good game, be careful. Our man is averaging 35 a game against this squad. Look at all those shots, not outside the 3-point line, but rather right around the free throw line and inside the paint. That's where Luka's just going to keep living, because I don't think there's anybody that can really get in his way. They're going to have to stop playing that drop defense. So that would be the reason that you would go against Luka in this game, is maybe these shots aren't there because of the fact that Rudy stops dropping all the way down on these screens and actually steps out and tries to defend a shot from Luka. Something's got to give, and it's going to either be that Luka's getting more assists this game, or he's just going to keep scoring from inside the 3-point line, and that's going to be trouble for Minnesota. So my first bet, though, is to bank on that. I did take a head-to-head bet here for points, Luka over Ant, -1.5. So he needs to get 2 more points than Ant in this game for us to hit this bet. And all the stuff I just said, Ant fatigue, Luka just taking Jaden McDaniels for a walk and being like, come here, bro, we're going to go over here now, and you're going to be on my left hip. Okay, now you're going to be on my right hip, and you're just never going to be in between me and the basket. You're going to constantly be chasing me with me having a shot without your hand in front of me, right? So that's going to be what I think continues. I don't see how unless you do change that defense up entirely, in which case, okay, well, now Rudy's coming up and playing on Ant, or on Luka a little bit more. Maybe we get some assists from Luka. So I'm going to be looking at that in the Discord. If you're not yet in there, the link is in the description. But that is something I'm going to be watching with the folks in the Discord as soon as this game starts, is what do we see from Rudy early in terms of his defense once he gets put in the pick and roll? Is he going to step up to Luka and actually take that shot away? Or is he going to keep dropping all the way down to the rim to make sure Luka can't throw the lob to the roll man off the pick, right? So that's one thing. I do also like Luka to continue to go under 5 turnovers in this game versus this squad. Something he's done consistently, and something he's done consistently when Kyrie is on the floor with him, is go under on these turnovers, mostly because he's looking to shoot more than anything. And the fact that he doesn't have the ball in his hands for quite as long or quite as much. Everything is down a little bit when it comes to touches and passes against this Wolves squad, not just in this last game, but in all of the previous games that he played against them as well, whereas he's normally up at about like 15, 8, 9 passes per game, or in this last game, he was at 50, right? Where he's normally at about 94, 95 touches per game. He was at 86 in this last game. So there's Kyrie doing his thing, your turn, my turn, your half, my half. I'm not going to try to figure out which half Kyrie or Luka is going to go off on anymore. It seems like they're willing to switch a little bit more after Luka took a back seat in the first half, and then Kyrie took over, rather, Luka did in the second half, right? So I'm just going to go with Luka under 4 turnovers here. The points bet, I didn't take an over necessarily, but I do like him to get more than Ant. So those are the Luka bets. I am going back to PJW, our guy from Dallas, back in Dallas. And I love the fact that he didn't shoot that well in this last game. He still got 2 threes. So I went with a little conservative bet here, honestly, but it's still -115 for him to do something that he's done in each of the last 7 games, right? So in the first series against LA, wasn't quite PJ's series. He didn't play nearly as well. Plus, he wasn't used as much in the offense. Then you get into the OKC series. Last 7 games since then, he's gotten this every time. 2 threes, 5 boards, right? So the fact that we get it at -115 is beautiful. And I continue to expect him to take a bunch of shots. If you want to go over on the points and rebounds at 17.5, you can do that. I took this little parlay here and put it in for a full unit based on how well he's playing. And let's get the Rook in there. Let's get Derrick Lively. Shout out Mike, who called this before game 1 as saying, like, I think, what'd you call him? Gaff? Something, I've already forgot. Gaff something, I already forgot, but it was a really good nickname. Let me know what it is in the comments if you remember, for Gafford. And look, I'm not even really throwing shade at Gafford. I'm more coming in this being like, Lively is a problem. He's a problem for Rudy. He's gonna be a problem for everybody. He's a mismatch in terms of being quicker than a lot of the bigs that we have out there for Minnesota. Nas Reed might be a good solution, so maybe see a little bit more Nas. NAW was terrible, but we're going to take a look at all that stuff right now. So let me jump back into the comments, see what y'all are looking at too, and we can go from there. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, we got the Gafford bet in. Alex, so if you let me know if you think Cat is going under there as well, because that's an interesting look for over on Towns rather. I know that Towns is worse at home. I don't know that you want to just bank on that as the reason to just go against Cat, but Luka overs, yeah, we like that. Yeah, I mean, if JD McDaniels guards Kyrie, though, then who's guarding Luka at that point? And maybe you need some more Nickeil Alexander-Walker on the floor, but our guy has been terrible from on offense, has Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So I'm not sure if that's going to be the answer or not. We'll have to see about that. Rudy, let me put Rudy in here. We can talk about his rebounds under. That was the look that was just brought up. So I'll put Rudy in here. We'll talk about his rebounds specifically. I did go under on the points last game, which just hit with the hook, right? He needed 13. He got 12. So that was lucky. Not lucky, but it was something that was bumping up right up against it. What's good, G-Bag? Good to have you in here, bro. Let's see. Yeah, JDM I mean, everything's kind of a mismatch for Kyrie when he's hitting like the way he was. Let's see. Ant RA and Ant PRA. Yeah, let me put Ant in here. I don't know why he's not already in here. We might even just start with Ant, right? We should do this in order of players that we give a crap about. Let me keep it moving, though. We got DJJ. We'll talk about him again. I went to the similar bet with the Rudy. I got that one barely last game, but we'll put DJJ in here for P and R for points and rebounds. We'll look at both of them and see if there's a bet, whether it's a combo bet or it's just one, or maybe we do a little parlay with both of them. We'll see what's up with that. Nas Reed over. Yeah, we can look at Nas. We should have him in here as well. We're going to look at everybody. I'm just trying to see what you guys specifically, which stats you're looking at for each person so that I don't just get into it without a little bit of a heads up from what you actually want to look at. But we are going to look at everybody for sure. So let me put Cat back in here because I didn't even put a bet down on Cat, and I'll look at him after Ant so we can kind of go once again in order of stars, right? Let's go down the line. We got JMC likes the Mavs straight up. All right. Let's take a look at that. We can look at who we think is going to win this game for sure. I'll put that a little bit more at the end. I mean, look, if you're talking about just like the Wolves coming back and just wiping the floor, or coming out super strong because they lost last game, could be a little bit careful. Even if the Wolves win the first quarter, which might be the look, to be honest. Let me make sure I put that in here is what we're going to look at. I'm going to put first quarter bets down because it might be we take the Wolves early, but I mean that's what we saw last game too, was like Wolves came out, did their business, and then they kind of got Luka and Kyrie essentially throughout the rest of the game. Conley, we need to look at that. It does seem sus, doesn't it? I mean, it seems sus in a couple of different ways. So we got to look at how we can break down Mike Conley, because once again, somebody might be in line for fewer minutes from the starters for the Wolves for this game. So I'm going to start bringing up my screen here to share with you guys. I'm going to still be using props.cash right now, but probably will be starting a partnership with Outlier as well. I want to get back into that program and start using it because I think that might be who I start moving forward with. Full transparency. But for right now, you can still get 25% off on props.cash, which if there's somebody in here from props.cash monitoring the stream, my bad. But yeah, either way, get the 25% off if you want it. It's scrolling on the bottom line. Link in the description. The code is LYB24. All right. First person I'm bringing up that I said was Ant-Man, right? I kind of already told you how I feel about Ant-Man stuff. I stayed away from things. Maybe the threes you like, it's all the way down here, right here, but you can get him to make 4 at plus 135 on DraftKings. That's not a bad look off bat, but let's look at the threes for Ant, and we can also look at the rebounds and assists because I know that's something you guys are going to want to look at. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I'm using to get these numbers, right? Any of the sites or anything, all the links are in the description of the video as well. So you can go ahead and check those out and use them for yourself as well. What's good, Daft? Good to have you in here, bro. I'm sure everyone's going to be asking for your bets, bro. So if you got anything in there, feel free to throw it in and we could take a look at it too. All right. But for Ant, the threes, right? Let me pull up the box score real quick. So like I showed you his shot chart, right? You saw where he's shooting from. He took 12 threes. The fear about going back to the threes would be if he makes it a point to get inside the paint this game, because I do think there's heavy correlation between our guy getting into the paint and getting in this team's success overall, for real. I'm trying to see what we should look at. I'm going to put his threes into the little betting tool and look at it that way. In the playoffs, he's gone over 5 of 12. He's averaging 3.2. So keep that in mind. He's gotten at least 3 let me dumb this down so it's just easy to look at. He's gone at least 3 in 7 of 12, right? Averaging those 3.2. So it's a pretty good hit rate overall, but it's 58%. It's not like a guarantee. Not for minus 160. I'll tell you that right now, or minus 180 at this point for him to get 3 threes. That ain't going to be it. And in fact, I'll just bring up the sheet that we always use in here. So I can just type it in and show you guys what I'm looking at real quick. But let me start sharing my screen and get to it that way. My bad, bro. I did it again. What's good, Joshua? Good to have you in here, bro. And I saw your comment, bro, by the way, about TikTok, JT. So I'm going to get back to you for it. I just had a busy morning, but I do appreciate the shout out. If you are not yet following JT on TikTok, our guy's building a following in there with some good content. So keep that in mind. I'm pulling up the right screen. All right, here we go. I got y'all. So looking at, this is the sheet that I have up. So this is what I'm using now to make sure that we're getting the best prices on these bets. This really helped us out a lot yesterday, right? Like there was a lot of stuff we looked at was like, what's the edge? Is it giving us a good number? And then we went from there. So let's do Ant threes. Let's look at the 3.5 and see if there's anything worth it there. And I'm going to pull up Props Madness as well. I've told you guys about that tool. You've seen it. And one of the reasons I'm going to continue using it here, aside from all the functionality of it, one of the best functions is that it's super fast in pulling up the most recent line. So like every 60 seconds, this thing is refreshing. So we can see all of the lines here to use as sort of a shop tool, a line shopper tool, right? So if you look at the 2.5 minus 150, let's look at both 3.5 and 2.5, because there are a number of 2.5s hanging for minus 150, which might be a better play. But let's start with the 3.5 and see if there's anything there. For 3.5, it's only on DraftKings right now. So everything else is still bumped down to 2.5 for his threes. 3.5 is plus 135, and the under is minus 175. So minus 175 for the under. What did we just say? 135 for the over. Minutes average for Ant, it's going to be about 40. Yeah, he's at 40. You got to project him for 40. But I will pull up, and the prop average is 3.2. I'm going to pull up the RotoWire projections as well. Those have been pretty helpful and pretty spot on, to be honest. So I'm pulling up, once again, this is in the description of the video if you need the link. But I'm pulling up projected minutes based on what RotoWire sees. Mike Conley's also actually listed as a game time decision. I haven't heard that he's not going to play, but keep that in mind. Projected minutes for Ant, they got him at 43. So they're saying he's going to come out and play as much as he needs to. We'll give him 43. Let's see if he is going to play 43 and their projections are correct, then we could take a look at it. So now I need to take the implied probability of both of these things, right? That's really easy just using an odds calculator right here. So I'm putting minus 175. That's the under. That is a 64% implied probability, right? So 64%, still not good. And then the 50% prop over is actually less than that. So 135 is going to give us 43%. So we'll put that in there. 43% implied probability. Still says it's slightly worth it. So when you see this number right here that's on the edge over, that's saying, is there an edge to the over? Do you have any sort of like advantage to taking the over? This needs to be at least plus 10% in the positive for me to take it. It is. So if you want to sprinkle on the Ant 4 threes, you can do it. The hesitancy that I have is if he does focus on getting into the lane a bit more, and that's what he's going to try to force more than anything, then that's going to be a little bit scary to assume that he's going to settle to take 12 threes again, which if he takes 12 threes, I absolutely love 4 threes for Ant. Like he's a 33% 3-point shooter for sure. So that's no joke. JT, Joshua, throw the TikTok handle into the comments if you would, so we can get some people to check out your stuff too, and keep that following going, bro. You guys building up a following already. I appreciate that. For the RA for Ant, let's take a look at that. All right. And I just got a big comment from Nicholas. I want to see what he's talking about. Can you look at, yeah, of course. We're going to look at both of them for sure. I got Lively on the PRA over. That's scrolling on the bottom line. If you want to take just the rebounds, I can tell you right now, he's had 24 rebound chances per game in the last 2 games for D Lively. So that's a consideration. I'm going to put Ant threes as a lean real quick, over 3.5 for half a unit on that. That's going to be the lean. So these leans are also going to be on the bottom line, scrolling right after the bets. All right. So we'll go Ant over 3.5, 3 p.m. For threes made, that is plus 135 on DK. You can probably also get that as like an alt line on these other books, right? Like if you want to go into FanDuel and see what it is for him to get 4 threes, it might be a better look right there, actually. And this is not FanDuel. This is FanDuel. So let's look at Ant's threes on FD real quick and see if that gives us a little bit better juice than the alt threes here, or the 3.5 that he gets. It's just a core bet on DraftKings. So threes here, it's 2.5 or -160. I think both of those are still going to give you an edge, to be honest. But Ant alt threes, if you take him for over 3.5 +174, that's better. That's way better. So always make sure you're shopping. That's going to give us even more of an edge. What's the implied probability on 174? 174 is a 37% implied probability. But let's make this 174. That might be a play already, honestly. And make this 37%. That's going to give us a way bigger edge at +174. That's a much better price to take it at for sure. So I'll put that in there. That's not even close. +174 on FD. That's a huge price difference right there, y'all. Like, always make sure you find that out. That's 31 cents, the 30 cents base, 40 cents rather, right? 40 cents for every dollar that you spend to bet on this. If you get it right, you get an extra 40 cents, right? So you bet $1,000, do the math, right? You're getting up there in money for as much as you bet. But hell yeah. Okay. I see you, Daft. I see you. Definitely check out his channel, Daft Previews. Right there, you see the logo. He's got those videos coming out every day. Sometimes we got the same looks, sometimes we don't. But for the most part, we're on the same page. Walker under 5.5. Oh, 5.5 points. I was like, what? Yeah, Nikhil Alexander. Let me put Na in there for sure. Hold up. NAW. He did take a few shots last game. The scary part would be if he made them. So I've got Ant as the lean right now. That might be worth it for +174 for him to hit 4, though, honestly, already. I'm going to sprinkle. I'm scared that he's going to try to force it, honestly. But they're going to give him the 3. They're going to give him the 3. He's going to take it. I'm hitting it. I'm putting Ant in here as a bet. I'm going to take that for whomever might be listening that helps me put bets in. I'm going to take that. FD. Do I want to put a full half unit on it? I think I do. Half a unit to get, I'm going to almost get the full unit back. All right. We'll leave it in there for now. That's going to be a play for Ant threes. That's something where I like to do. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, remember when Daft hit? Didn't you have to hit something yesterday for $1,000? Cat under 5.5 in the first quarter. That's interesting. I believe I have Cat up here next, but let me look at the RA for Ant real quick. So I know he went ballistic last game, 19 of them. Game 7, he had 15 of them. And to be fair, like that is they've got a similar defensive look for Ant in Game 7 against the Nuggets as they did Game 1. Against this Mavs team right here. So it would seem to indicate that he's a little bit more likely to do it. He was scoring a bit more, right, against Denver, a bit more. But as far as the rebounds go, let's see, he had 8 and 11. So he's at 11 last game and the 8 dimes, right? All the way up at 6.5 now. So 6.5 for one, 6.5 for the other brings you to 13. So if this is at 12.5, that's a pretty good number. Just combining those both, you don't really lose out on much, and you get -106. Let me see if that's still accurate as well. Going to rebounds and assists for him on the better shot finding tool does look pretty accurate. You can get even money on MGM right there. Now he's averaging 11.4 this is not the playoffs yet. So in the playoffs, he's averaging 12.7, 58% hit rate, and we're getting this for even money. Let me put that in there real quick for Ant. So he's at RA, the line is 12.5. The under odds are, let's pull this up, -135, and the over is 100. So the minutes average still at 40. Prop average is at, what did I say, 12.7? Yeah, 12.7 right there. And then the projected minutes, we'll leave it 43. Now, this projection is really going to impact us for the minutes. This is huge because this is pretty much everything. And I need to stress that even more than I have so far, which is that this is motherfucking everything is the projected minutes, because this is what all these numbers are based on, is that if he plays, the average of 40, okay, then that's one thing. But if he gets more projected minutes than what he's averaged already, it's going to tell us it's a bit better to the over, right? All right. So I'm looking at the under probability is -135. And that is going to be, I already forgot, but I should remember. -135 is 57%. And the implied probability of the over is 50% because it's even money. And so the edge to the over is slight. It's slight. It's not great. It's still 12%. It is a pretty high number. Let me look at one thing to make sure we're not getting gypped on the price as well. This is going to be the Betting Pros site that I pull up. where link in the video, link in the description. But this is where you can see what was his price recently, right? So pull up Ant on this right here when I search for him, and now I can see what his recent rebound and assist props lines were at. So right now at 12.5, but so this is going up, right? I don't think he's seen a 12.5 RA line in the playoffs. In fact, I don't know the last time he did see it was against LA right here on the 10th. Everything else for his RA has been less than 12.5. So you've got to realize you're paying a bit of a premium here in order to get that number. So keep that in mind. That's one thing that usually keeps me away from stuff. At 12%, let me see real quick. Let's look at his potentials. So he had 17 potential assists in this last game. The rebound chances, I'm going to be honest with you. Those rebounds, okay, he had 15, he got 11. A lot of those, if you look at them, were a lot of bounces that kind of went his way. So here's where I'm just going to show you what we were looking at yesterday. I didn't get canceled yesterday after showing you guys NBA highlights on a live stream. So maybe we just try it one more time. But this is what I like to look at when I'm looking at his last game and going, all right, he had 17 rebound chances. What did those look like, right? And I can't look at every rebound chance, but I can look at his rebound specifically. So I'm going to go into his rebounds right here. You can see how this is a hyperlink right inside the box score of game one rather, that we're looking at here. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to give me all these to look at for him. So I'm just going to play a couple real quick because I'm like a bunch of the first bunch of rebounds were just like, oh, well, Ant's the only person under the basket. And look at where he's at right now. Oh, that was supposed to be a rebound. They didn't show us the whole highlight, whatever. But he was standing at the foul line and just bounced right to him. Now look where he's at. Baggett, he just kind of waltzes in. It just lands right in front of him instead of in front of Rudy. So a lot of these rebounds, maybe he's going for him. And maybe if he's guarding Kyrie, though, I don't know why he'd be able to get so many of those. I just want to see one more of these little highlights real quick and see what it looks like for this board right here. Look at that. He's in traffic, bounce, 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 and then he pulls it up and runs, right? So this is a lot of lucky stuff. I'm not like, when I look at rebound chances, I'd love to look at like who's he guarding and where is that person playing on the floor. And for Ant, like if you look at matchups in this game, you know he's guarding Kyrie the whole time. I also told you that. But for Ant right here, the most amount of minutes he's guarding. Oh, that's him on offense. My bad. Putting him on defense real quick. You can see he's guarding Kyrie the whole time, right? But Kyrie's not getting in the lane that much and not hanging out down there for him to just get those boards. He's got to go and get them. So there's a little bit of fear that like there were some lucky bounces when it comes to rebounding, and you just got to keep that in mind. 15 rebound chances is still going to be a lot. If you like the RA at even money, I don't think it's a bad look at all. You get an edge for it, but it's more of a lean for me than anything. So I'll just put that in here under the leans for Ant. I'm going to put over 12.5 RA, but I don't know that I have the stones to hit it. If he's also focused, maybe he's not guarding Kyrie. I don't know what to do with that just yet. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're just using this for informational purposes, bro, for sure. So, you know, I don't think you can get in trouble when you're doing that. Yeah. Okay. This is a good look from Mike real quick, because this is the Lively Whisperer. He had this all before for last game. If you're thinking about taking Lively's boards, you might want to jump on it because it is going up to 7.5. And if you get decent money for it, then yeah, you're gonna be all right. But J-Miz doesn't think that he's gonna be passing tonight. So that's cool. Jonical wants us to watch the live match in her Telegram streaming channel. So if anybody, don't click on that link. I was joking. I shouldn't even show that. Don't click on that link. That's a bot. I don't care what Jonical looks like. There's not going to be any cool stuff going on in that stream. I promise. You're just going to end up with counterfeit, or you know, your identity stolen. So don't worry about that. And I just wanted to call out how fucking ridiculous people are. All right, let's move on to Cat for a minute, because I got the lean for the RA. The points for Ant still, it's tough for me to see how they're going to come out and play against this defense differently than they did. J Kidd right now, better coach than Chris Finch. No disrespect, because Chris Finch did an incredible job, but I think J Kidd still has some stuff up his sleeve. And if there is a zag coming from the Timberwolves on offense to help Ant get open, I'm sure J Kidd still has a zig in him if he needs it, and zigzag, whatever. All right, Cat real quick, because this is a polarizing player. Not my favorite dude. I think he's corny. I think he's a dork. Just put that out there. But that's not going to impact whether or not I want to bet on him, right? Now, you look at what we were talking about earlier. I just want to just be very clear about something. So if we look at not the playoffs for Cap, but just the whole season, and we look at home stuff, and Free Sauce brought this up a little while ago. But if you look at, let's look at the last 15. So he has not gone over at home 20.5 points since February the 24th against Poo Poo Brooklyn, who I have no respect for, and I don't know where that franchise is going. That's for another time. The other numbers here are not going to look good. So let's actually do last 10 real quick, because he's over 10 in there. He has gotten 19 once. He still hasn't even got, bro. He didn't even get 20 in these last, other than, so this is 1, 2, 3. Well, this is 15 games, right? So this is 12 in a row. 12 in a row to the under, averaging 15 and a half at home. I get that. And there's some truth to and some validity to a home away split. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to just totally dismiss it, but I am going to say it's not the ultimate truth. It's not like the priority stat to keep track of, or split to keep track of, is home and away necessarily. Away does look a lot better though. And maybe we can already get ahead of that for game 3, because I do believe in, this is stark. It's tough for me to sit here and tell you like there's nothing to this. But it's weird because it's normally the opposite, right? It's usually away worse, home better. Cat, I don't know, maybe he's just like eating up the booze or something. I'm not really sure. So I just want to be heed caution a little bit here and not just say like, oh, he did it so many times at home, so I'm gonna go for it. Just keep that in mind. All right, so for Cat, then what are we actually looking at here? We can look back at this box score real quick because that'll be helpful. His matchup on offense, when he's on offense rather, is going to continue to be PJ Washington. Wonderful defender. Really, really good defender is PJ Washington. So with PJ on him, he went 3 for 11 and he missed all his threes, right? When DJJ got switched on to him, still 0 for 3, 0 for 2 from deep. I kind of want to take a look at some of these field goals and be honest with you. I am going to do that real quick. So for PJ, and these are all the this is dope, bro. Like I don't know if you are, or if you're not into this and you're leaving the stream because I'm watching some stuff. Like this is fire. The fact that I can watch every field goal when PJ was the one guarding him, that's fire. So this is off the inbound, doing cat stuff, trying to big boy him. Took a bad shot at the end of the shot clock, whatever. And it might continue to do that. Maybe his shot selection gets a little bit better. But I do think Ant's just going to have to keep pushing the ball out of his hands. And this is obviously their second best scorer without a question. I'm not here for an under on Cat this game. I'm going to be honest with you. The other thing is, if you want to look at Cat like every other game stuff, this is not the playoffs. Let me pull playoffs up only. So we look at the playoffs. It's like good, bad, good, bad, 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 good, bad, good, bad, bad, good, bad, good, bad. So it's like a lot of this like Anthony Davis stuff where it's like Ant Davis was like going over, under all the time. So after a bad game, I'm not going under. I don't have it for him to go over. He took 20 shots last game. If Ant is able to get some more shots up, all right, then Cat, is not necessarily going to be in line for 20 shots this game. What's he done head-to-head against this team? I don't know if there's anything there for it. He went over during the regular season, but PJ wasn't there yet, right? None of these had PJ on the squad yet. He got there right after all this stuff. So if we put with PJ Washington in the game, which you can do on props.cash, you can make sure you put with, and then you look up, this is the only one he's played with PJ, right? So you got to keep that in mind. There's still a bunch of unknown for Cat. If it's coming down to, is he going to make or miss shots? Like maybe he has a better shot selection. Maybe he gets to the line a little bit more. He only got 2 free throws yesterday, although Dallas is pretty good at not fouling. But yeah, I'm going to pass on Cat points right now. I took under on the rebounds last game. He had a decent amount of rebound chances. If you want to look at rebound chances inside the box score, you want to go to player tracking. And as Free Sauce said yesterday, God bless player tracking data, bro. And the fact that they're finally giving it to us. And by the way, these teams have 10 times the amount of quality tracking data that they don't even give to us. So just keep that in mind because basically like they know what we know and then some. For Cat though, the 11 rebound chances, right? Now he got 7 boards off of 11 rebound chances, which is interesting. Very interesting because that's not very many. Let me look at his rebound chances by game real quick. So this is head to head. Let me go back to the playoffs. I'm gonna do that probably every show. If we're looking at this for the playoffs, rebounds 13.6 per game. So to get 9 on 13.6, and he's averaging 9. So keep that in mind. I don't know that I want to go back to the under for minus 120. It was like minus 105 last game. And yeah, it's juiced everywhere. In fact, I don't even know if this is fully correct. Let me pull up Props Madness and go to Cat boards real quick. I'm going to actually put this into the, let me go to rebounds. My bad. Rebounds, Cat, not points. Come on now. Rebounds in the playoffs. Okay. The best number here, you get plus 110 for going over. The best money to the under is going to be minus 135 ESPN bet, 365 Bovada, which is offshore. If you have another offshore bet online, minus 134. So, 8.5, let's put it in for an over at plus 110. Let's look at what that looks like real quick with those lines. So we'll put Cat in here, Rebs, Line is at 8.5. Under odds are minus, I already forgot because I'm fucking dumb. Minus 180. No, not that one. Let's do, well, we can get a minus 118. So let me put the minus 118 in alongside the plus 110. That's the beauty of line shopping. I hope that y'all are aware of that at this point. Minus one, bro, why do I keep forgetting this? Because I'm talking too much. Minus, where you at, FanDuel? That had the best under odds. Minus 118. All right, here we go. Minus 118 for the under. Over odds plus 110. Minutes average in the playoffs for Cat. Let me go back over here. For Cat is going to be, I'm not going to call him Cat anymore. I apologize. I don't know why the fuck I just said that. 32.5. And to be fair, like this projection is probably going to be way more than 32.5. Let's go back to RotoWire, see what their projection is. 37. So the reason he plays 32 sometimes is because that man cannot stop fouling. If he hip checks one more person and then looks at the refs like, I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously not going to be able to do anything about it, but my God, bro, that is just annoying. Like, learn the rules of basketball before you start complaining about the hip check you just threw at somebody. All right, so he's at 32.2 in the playoffs. Minutes average 32.2, and we've got him for 37 in this game, according to RotoWire, which is what we're going to use here. So the book under probability at minus 118 is going to be 54%. All right, 54% is the under probability, right? That's what I just said. And then, oh no, I messed that up. Sorry. This is where I need to put that. 54%, no edge to the under. That's for sure. Not at minus 118. To the over, and also I think I messed up the prop average. It's not 12.7. It's 9.1. All right, my bad. Here we go. That's how many he's averaging in the playoffs. Still not a great under look as he's averaging more than that. But at plus 110, which is going to be, hang on one sec, 48%. The book probability 48% does give us a pretty big edge to the over, right? Be careful in general, obviously. I took it back. Do I have to say no Diddy when I say that? My bad. Is Jim Mora dead? Jim Mora Sr.? Oh, okay. I was like, he didn't die. I would have heard about that, Mike. Jim Mora playoffs. Projected minutes 37. All right. So we got 33.64% to the over. That does make sense to me. I'm going back to these rebound chances. What did I just say? Rebound chances 13.6. He had 11 last game. He also like got a couple of rebound chances that just like fell away from him. There was that tip slam that would have been his 8th board, and it got called for goaltending inside the rim. You probably remember that. So yeah, keep that in mind for Cat. But 13.6 to pull down 9 is pretty reasonable. Once you get to plus 110, you're in a pretty good spot. That's going to be a lean for me on Cat over on the boards. I also like when I can just correctly predict an under one game and then correctly predict an over in the next game. Makes me feel sharp. But let's put Cat in here for over 8.5 revs. If you get it at plus 110. Now, if you're finding this number at like any other number that where you get into the minus odds, like let's look at that real quick. I'll just show you what I mean. So right now the over is at plus 110, right? But if you get this at even money, let's see what that does to our edge, because that makes it 50%. Down a little bit. It's still better than the 10% that we need to go over, but it's still a little bit sketch to me. I'm be honest with you. So I'm leaving it in there as a lean, just so you know I'm not going under on Cat on those rebounds like I did last game. So I'm not just going back to the well on that, but I am looking at the over as a better play. So keep that in mind. I didn't look at much else. I passed on the points entirely for Cat. And then for the dimes, interestingly, Joe, I know Joe yesterday, how about a cup of Joe, had over 3.5 for hella plus money, hella more plus money now if you want it for plus 145. What's he been averaging in the playoffs for these dimes? He's right at 3 a bunch of times, right? He's averaging 2.8 though. There's not going to be an edge. Even at plus 145, you're taking a pretty big risk. What were his potentials at? Potential assist last game was at 4. I don't know if that's what you want to look at, because the other thing here is if this game plays out the same way that this last game played out, then we're talking about Cat with the ball in his hands going to the rim. Cat ain't looking to pass once he's going to the rim. And I just want to show you one thing that how you can look at that. If you go to NBA stats and you go into players, all right, so stay with me real quick. I'm in NBA advanced stats. I'm going into players. I'm looking at tracking data inside here. And now I can see drives, right? So Cat, let's look at last game real quick and make this the Timberwolves. So I changed the season segment to last game. The team I'm changing to mini. And when I look at this last game, Cat drove 8 times, right? He passed once and got no dimes off of it. but 8 times that he drove into the lane, he got 4 points off of it, and he took 5 shots, right? So 5 of his 8 drives ended with him taking a shot. Actually, 6 of them did, but he got fouled on them. So 6 of his 8 drives ended with him taking a shot. So the assists, it ain't there for me, even if you get that thing. Yeah. And Daft warned us about the assists. You warned Joe, by the way. I didn't take that, Daft, but you did warn. You warned the chat, and I appreciate that. Keeping us honest is the COVID king. But yeah, for the drives for Cat, that ain't going to be what happens. He's not going to be passing. So don't worry about that stuff. I'm going to leave that alone for Cat at this point. I would say the best bet for an over for him is going to be the Rebs, to be honest with you. And the points, I mean, honestly, what about PA under? Nah. Let's not get crazy. We don't need to get fucking try to like outsmart shit. Let's just stay to the core stuff here that we know. All right. So I'm going to go and move on from Cat and just leave his, I'm going to leave his rebounds in there as a lean to the over. All right. Let me make sure I'm not messing this up. Did I put yeah. Okay. I've got the Rebs in there as a potential over for Cat. Karl-Anthony. All right, let's look at Gafford, and we should look at Lively and Gafford together, right? I don't have Lively written in here, but I'll put them up right now. So Gafford / Lively. And it's interesting. J Kidd is trusting the Rook, man. He out-minuted Gafford once more, and that's been the case consistently. So I'm back in this box score just so I can keep it simple. But if I go to traditional and I look at the minutes for these two dudes, 26 and 21. This adds up to basically 48 minutes. I think there was like 10 seconds where one of them wasn't on the floor. But just so you know, if you're like going for both of them in the stats right here, just be careful because they're just going to have their minutes staggered. And Mike, I know we were also talking about the points for Gafford and to like take Lively to get -1.5 more. That's a trash bet the more I look at it. Like he took 9 shots and Lively took 4. You know what I mean? So like Vandal is really trying to hoodwink you there because he had such a better game, and he had more minutes, but you know, the shots were more there for Gafford and Lively actually more assists, right? And I actually do continue to like the dimes for Lively. I just want to pull that up real quick, and I'll pull it up on Props Madness real quick. If you go to D Lively, where you at, Lively? Derrick Lively, and we go to his assists. Kid's been diming up a little bit. I mean, he's got at least 1 assist in the last, we're in the playoffs. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. And it's 11 of 13 in the playoffs. So he's gone at least 1 assist. So I don't think you can add that. They were fucking us the other day was both of these sites right here for FanDuel and DraftKings. You couldn't get like an alt assist line on Derrick Lively. You can't do it on here. Let me pull up DraftKings, because I like that as a parlay piece. And by the way, shout out TJ McConnell for hitting a 3 yesterday. If you were on the stream, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't take it at -280, but under a 3 for TJ McConnell is always a great bet. What do you do in the first fucking quarter? Hit a 3. And it was pure too. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's look at if we can get 1 assist for Lively to add to anything. I'm going to have to go into same game parlay here on DraftKings. I'm going to go to assists. And Lively, you can get him for 2 at +160, but they're not giving us a alt line on his assist. They don't want us to just take 1 dime for him because they're cowards. But if they weren't, then they would give us 1 dime for Lively, but we can't get it. So I'm not there for the 1.5 for him. So just keep that in mind. Let me pull him up right here though. Let's start with him and then we'll go into Gafford. So we're talking about rebounds for both of them. This should be a little bit scary to y'all. Now, wait, is this right? This is the playoffs. How is this right? Is there another? There's no. I thought he had hella more boards in that last game. Where am I doing wrong? Playoffs. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Oh, I wasn't on Derrick Lively. I was on Derrick Jones. Come on, man. This is why I need to be someone to keep me honest. Daff, they want to know what happened to your MLB plays, bro. You didn't give up already, did you? What's up, kings and queens? Yeah, you gotta keep bringing that back, bro. We love your MLB stuff. Now that you can spell MLB, by the way, good job there. 10, 15, 11. You got 8 recently, so that 7.5 number, not too crucial according to how many he's gotten. Like he's only gotten 7 once, so if he gets 6, he's gotten 8 or more. Let's look at the minutes real quick. So these minutes, they've been hovering right around the same stuff. Did have 2 unders, so if you do give him 20. Let's give him 24 minutes. Let's look at those projections too. Does RotoWire have a bit more minutes coming for Derrick than Gaff? Yeah, this is what they had last game too. Was 22 minutes for Gafford, 27 minutes for Derrick Lively. So Do we want to project him at 27? He had 26 last game. Let's be conservative. Let's project him at 26. I'm going to put him in here real quick. But let me go back to what I was doing, which is I put him at at least 24 minutes. So he's played 24 or more minutes in 6 playoff games. He's gone over in 5 of 6. That is something. That ain't nothing for sure. Let's look at the rebound chances in these games real quick too. Rebound chances are at 18 per game when he plays 25 minutes or more. That's cuckoo bananas for sure. Imagine a grown man saying cuckoo bananas on the same live stream where he calls somebody cat. Fuck is wrong with me? It is cuckoo bananas though. Rebound chances at 18. And these were the first round, and then OKC, he got a bunch of them. So it's really about like it was more like he didn't play in these blowouts, right? That kind of seems to be the case more than anything. I guess if the question is 7.5 boards, I still don't hate it. Let's put 6.5 in here. Let's just use the playoff data that we have. So for the playoff data, we got him at 22.1 minutes per game, getting 7.3 boards. All right, let's do this for Lively. Lively Rebs. Let's do 6.5 first, and then we'll see if there's anything with an edge for 7.5. The odds, I'm going to have to go back here. Rebounds, odds, 6.5. The best number is -132 on FD now. And to the point that Mike made in the chat, this is going up, and some are starting to turn it into 7.5. So keep that in mind. 6.5, -132 is the best number. The under best number is +120. So we got -132 and +120. -132. Was that the best number for the under on these? Wait, stand by. No, that's the over number. My bad. The best number on the over is 132. The best number on the under is +120. All right. 120 -132. Minutes average is 22.2, right? Let me just make sure I'm not messing that up again. Minutes, 22.1, excuse me. 22.1. Prop average is 7.3. I remember that number. Projected minutes, we're going to give him, they got him at 27. I think we just go back to 26. I just want to be conservative for a second. 26 minutes. The probability of the under is +120. That's going to be, let me guess real quick, 45%. 45%. Let's go. 45%. I'm going to start just remembering these by heart before long, and y'all are going to be super impressed. And then the over is -132. That number, I think that, I don't remember that one. I'm not going to lie to you. I look stupid now. 57%, a strong 57% to the over here. So you do see the edge still to the over with the price that we get. So that's what this number means, is with the price that we get in terms of how much we get back for betting on this, it's a 20% edge to the over. Double what we would need. Pretty good look right there, even at the -132 number, right? So -132 would be about where I would stop. Like, I wouldn't play this lower than -130, to be honest. So if you get it at -132, I'm still kind of out on that. But, bro, this dude is boarding up. Those rebound chances are crazy high. Like, I'm not going to fault anybody for taking Derrick Lively over 6.5. What do you get for 7.5? It's only one book, right? And it looks like they're even kind of like mixing it up and changing it out. Let's look at what it is for some alt stuff for his rebounds, if there's anything there real quick for Lively. So 6 boards, 8 boards for Lively. +125. That ain't going to be it. That's not going to be the edge. So I think you take the over 6.5. I'll put that as my lean real quick. Great question real quick. Let me interrupt myself. Tire Savage asking, how accurate is RotoWire minutes? Their minutes projections are pretty good. The best site for that is going to be I'm putting it in here on the it's ETR, establishtheRun.com. That is the best site for sure. Like, the books are changing their lines based on Establish the Run. Now, Establish the Run is doing hella work. So they are charging like $220 a year, maybe, might even be more than that for a subscription on Establish the Run. But it is a absolutely fire site. And I don't have access to it because I just have somebody feed me these numbers who has it. But this is what it looks like. Establish the Run. You can do it for multiple sports. These dudes go hard, man. They know what they're doing here. And you got a lot of pros that are behind this site and using this site. Most pros are using this site, which the book knows. So just so you know, the Tyrese Halliburton line in game 1 of that series. Hold on, Alex helping us out. 250 for, oh, right. Okay. That's what I thought. I thought 220 a year sounded too good to be true, to be honest. Get that bubble out of here. So that does make sense that it would be 250 for the whole football season. That makes Yeah. Yeah. I use it for basketball, like I said, but it is amazing for football. Just keep that in mind. So this is what I would use if you want to. Like I said, the lively stuff though. Mike just pulled up a really good point as well. Mike was calling out for the double double for our guy. How many shots did he take last game? Pull that up real quick. Lively, I already said that. He took 4 and he made all of them. So he does need a little bit more action on offense. And I do still like the assist. What's the RA at, honestly? Because Mike brought this point up before game 1 about Lively, which was he's going to have trouble going back up if he does get some boards over Rudy. And he did get hella boards over Rudy. But he's not going back up with it because it's Rudy. And he has not been in a good position. And he doesn't have the offensive game, to be honest, to like get it, settle himself down, back Rudy down, and then get a shot off. Like, let's still get this dude's like 19. Let's give him some credit. But the double-double at plus 750 ain't a bad look. It's actually scarier for the points, even though that's a higher prop than the rebounds, which is just making me like the rebounds even more, honestly. Let me put that in here and keep it going. Yo, why are you spamming the chat? Relax. I don't even know how to say your name. You just sent that like 12 times. If that was on purpose, chill out a little bit. I'm putting Gafford in the bottom line here as Gafford Lively over 6.5 revs. I still think that's a good look at minus 132. You start to lose some of that edge. If you get anywhere below that, if you get like minus 140 or worse, it's not going to be a good look. All right. Yeah, so I had some people ask me about this too. If you're looking for turnovers, because I played that for Luka, it doesn't make any sense on DK, but it is under. And let's make sure we have the best number for that still. Hold up, but once again, need to support myself and not have my ADD squirrel. You got to go all the way to the bottom, right? So let me just collapse. You can also collapse these things, so you don't got to scroll as much if you want to. See that little arrow right there? I would recommend doing that because scrolling sometimes you just get lost in shit. This makes it a lot easier. There's turnovers. So you can just scroll all the way to the bottom, or you can just collapse these things with this little arrow right here, make it way easier on yourself. So for the turnovers right now for Luka, minus 130 was the best number. It might still could be, and I know that's why you're asking. So let me pull up Luka turnovers. Where you at, Luka? Luka Doncic turnovers. Yeah, I think minus 130 is still your best number here. Ooh, it looks like MGM is hanging minus 120 and 365 has minus 115. So if you can play it on those sites instead, that's going to be better odds for you to take under 4.5 turnovers for Luka, which is scrolling on the bottom line. That was one of the bets that I had in there as well. Let's look at Gafford. Is Gafford a fade because he's so popular? Like, is it popular to fade him? Bro, who do I think will win the game? If I tell you, will you stop spamming the chat with who's going to win the game? Who's going to win the game is, I don't know. I didn't bet a side in this one. I would say the first quarter for the Wolves is a good look. I do think they're going to come out with a lot to look at here. So keep that in mind. But yeah, no doubt, bro. No channel name. I like that. No doubt, no channel name. All right, keep it moving. You got the stuff for Luka turnovers. You wanted to know about Gafford as well. So let's take a look at DG here. As far as the boards go, like I'm not here to just start fading Gafford. I actually don't have anything bad to say about Daniel Gafford. I enjoyed betting on him so far this postseason, to be honest. The overs have been hitting since OKC. That was always what I was going to because Gafford is Chet Holmgren's daddy. And then Derrick Lively might be his uncle at this point because they just dominated that series. OKC is going to need some rebounding in the offseason, bro. We all know that. Not sure who's available. I'm excited to dive into that. For Gafford, though, I still like the points and rebounds. He's going to get 20 to 22 minutes. Gafford is going to Lively is going to get 24 to 26 minutes, let's say. And they're just going to split the 48 in that sense. He's still good for these numbers. Like he took more shots than Lively. He has a little better offensive game than Lively, who's just faster, more athletic, and more of a problem in that sense. But rebound chances for our boy, where are they at? Oh, I'm on PR. Rebound chances for our boy, Gafford, last game, we're at 16. You know what I mean? Like let's be careful fading Gafford. Just because you want to bet on Lively doesn't mean you got to bet against Gafford. In fact, if you parlay these two together, it should give you some negative correlation bump, right? So if you have yeah, wait. Oh, yeah, appreciate that. That's a great call, Mike. If you do want some help, throw up your player, field, line, juice. Yeah, just throw up as much details as you want when you're looking at it. Obviously, if you just throw up a name, then I just look at it. But if you do have like a bet for that name, that's helpful. Good shout, Mike. The Gafford stuff that I was looking at real quick. Yeah, like essentially for Gafford, I would still consider him a good play. Where was I going with this? I interrupted myself. That's on me. The 24 minutes, 9 boards in this last game, more shots, 22 minutes. What's he averaging in the playoffs? 20.8 minutes. I still think this is a good look, man. I mean, he's only averaging 5.8 rebounds in the playoffs, but since the Thunder series, he's been going pretty hard with these rebounds. I forget what I was even going to look at next for this. Smoke more weed, for sure. All right, well, let's just put him in here. Let's put Gafford in here. Let's take this 5.5, this 5.8 rebounds. And honestly, that doesn't feel right, man. Like, I think that's what I was saying. Thank you. Let's go. If you bet on two guys who have a negative correlation. So what I mean by that is if you want to take a same game parlay, I'm do it here in DraftKings. This is not the best site usually for same game parlays. I'll be honest with you. Bet365, usually way better. Honestly, FD, usually way better. Laware wants us to take under Luka threes and then come back and thank him later. All right. Well, thank you later. I thank you right now too, bro. I appreciate the look. It was ladder up to 6.5. Let me know what you mean by that real quick. All right. I'm going to do this while you tell me that, which is these dudes should be negatively correlated. Daniel Gafford and Derrick Lively. So if I'm taking, I bet this is pretty nice. Like if I'm taking plus 10 plus points for both dudes, it's plus 700, right? At plus 160, plus 170. All right. I mean, that's decent, but like I should be getting a bit more juice, honestly, because these two dudes take time from each other. They are negatively correlated, right? So another negative correlation would be if I did Luka 30 plus points and the Mavs to lose, right? So if I take Luka on his points and I go over 28.5 and I take the money line for the Timberwolves, that should give me a pretty good price. Plus 176 ain't bad. I'd have to do the math on this real quick. But that's what I mean is like those two things are negatively correlated. If Luka gets 30, his team should do better. But I'm picking him to get 30 and his team to lose. So I should get more juice back for making that type of bet. And if I don't, because I ran it through my calculator and it told me that wasn't a good play, then I shouldn't be taking that, right? So keep that in mind, and that it will be helpful. A lot of these dudes you see on like Parlay Science and stuff like that, which shout out Parlay Science, like they get shit sometimes for something I don't really understand. They're fire. So if you find Parlay Science online, like that's a good place to look at, and they do this consistently, which is like negative correlation. Like if you think TJ McConnell and Tyrese Halliburton are both going to go off, well, they take time from each other and they take looks from each other. So that would make sense. All right, let me get off my pedestal and keep going. For Gafford boards, I like the boards. Like I have no reason not to take this. I'll put it in here with the 5.8 and just see what's up. So let me put Gafford in here. Rebounds, he's getting one less board to get. That's crazy. I don't think it's that big of a difference between these two guys to just say that. But all right, pulling up Gafford, Rebs. I had Rebs for lunch. Minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under. All right, minus 105, minus 115. Minutes average 20.8. Prop average 5.8. Projected minutes 20. They gave him 20. No, it should be 22. I'm giving him 22. That's right. Oh, we'll give him 21 because he played that last game. 21. It's right about there. But that is going to matter. I've told you that now a couple of times. Like projected minutes are fucking everything. So that is why you pay $250 for football, or you pay $200 for the NBA subscription to establish the run. Like you pay for that if you're serious about making your own numbers, essentially, right? Which making your own numbers is what we got to do here. We can't just be going off, well, I like that. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I like that. No, it's not. That's not what we do here. We make numbers and then we see if it's worth the price. Probability to the under at minus 105 is going to be about 49%. 51% I meant, obviously, the other way. 51% to the under, and the over at minus 115. That number is going to give us 54% as the implied probability. So 54% means we don't really have an edge either way on him. Now, you can still take a bet that you don't get a 10% edge on if you still feel like there's some math in there that's not mathing. And the math that I would argue is not mathing is it was a different series against the Clippers. It was just different. Now, obviously, OKC is a much worse rebounding team than Minnesota. And Minnesota kind of shot like dog doo-doo, didn't they? What was their shot? 37%. It was bad from the field, but from three, it was pretty good. Thanks to Jaden McDaniels turning into Reggie Miller, and then Ant having 5 for 12 as well. So maybe this goes up and this stays about the same. So that maybe there are fewer rebound chances, and that would be your worry. What were the total amount of rebound chances real quick? Going into player tracking, rebound chances for this squad overall, you saw 16 and 21, right? And then you had, so yeah, there's still a good amount of rebound chances there. And a lot of dudes had a lot of them. So it's not much of an edge for Gafford. I think I'm probably a pass on him at this point, just because that's what the data is telling me. If you believe in this a little bit more, so like if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in these 8 games, it was 17, 24, 29, 37, 44, 51, 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's 60 divided by 8? Who's got that quick math? 60 divided by 8 is 7.5. So he's been averaging 7.5 in these last 8 games if you take away most of this Clippers series, right? So that would definitely change things if you want to use that math instead of the other math, because now you're throwing about prop average 7.5. We got to make sure we get the minutes correct. So in these last 7, he's basically been playing. Let me just do it on StatMuse real quick. StatMuse Gafford last 8 games has been averaging 22.9 minutes. So let's just do it that way. So prop average, minutes average, 22.9. And then projected minutes, or this is projected, my bad. Put this over here with the minutes average. Projected minutes will give him 21. And it's a bit more of an edge to the over if you use the numbers from a different sample size, which would just be these last 8 games and just nix the Clippers series. But the more you have, the better, right? You always want more data rather than less. So let's just use all the data and say, nah, I think we gotta dip on that. What is your deal, bro? Fucking Instagram, man. So annoying. We just lost like 40 dudes in the stream because of the fact that Instagram just decides to fucking shut down. Stand by. Let's see if we can get this back. All right. Public. I know some of y'all are just going to dip because I'm taking 1 second to do this, but it's super fucking worth it for me. Sorry. I'm getting Instagram back up and running. All right. And I'm going to go live on there because I go hard anytime now. All right, it'll come back. We'll get it. All right, keep it moving. I'm going to keep moving from these dudes. I'm going to put Gafford in here as a lean to the over on his boards, but I haven't taken either of those dudes in this one, to be honest with you. Gafford, I think Lively is the way to go. If you're going to bet on an over between one of them and not both of them, you take Lively. Gafford over 5.5 revs. The fact that Gafford is at a lower number is helpful. If you do want to take him, I completely understand that. So, all right. What else we have to look at here? So I got Gafford and Lively on there. I might make a play on that. I'll put it into the Discord if that is the case. All right. So if you're not in the Discord, I would definitely recommend getting into the description of the video and going to the link. All right. All right. Let's see if Instagram will stop being a dick. Cool. Yeah, I got Nas on here, right? So let me get to slow-mo real quick, and then I'll get to Nas. Well, I'll look at Nas because that's been coming up a bit more, and Nas is one of the more popular dudes in the NBA at this point, to be honest with you. But we got to think about the reasoning behind Nas. I didn't project this, but I said there was a possibility that Nas got fewer minutes in this series the way he got fewer minutes in the other series because of the fact that, this is a guard-heavy offense, right? So if you look at Nas against Phoenix, under the rebounds in all of them, the points, he still did well because he's always going to be a spark off the bench. How many shots has he taken in the playoffs? Let's see real quick. 8.6 per game. He had 2 where he didn't get very many minutes, right? Like if you look at the minutes right here, the minutes are way down in the Phoenix series. And then we get to Denver and he goes skyrocketing up because they're a big ass team that he needed to play with. These 18, 19 minute games are big time blowouts. I think he's still good for 24 minutes, right? What do they have him on RotoWire? Let's look at Nas projected minutes on RotoWire. 23. That sounds right to me. 23 to 24 minutes is what we're going to see from Nas Reed for sure. So I think we can bank on that. Let me keep it moving with Nas though. So for Nas, what I think this is what we're looking at. It's like minutes is so big for this. The 10.5 is getting a little bit out of control though. What's it been at? Let me look at Nas, what he's been at. In fact, yeah. All right. Pulling up Nas. This is Betting Pros. For those of y'all that are just coming in too, by the way, this is Betting Pros. All these links in the description of the video. Make sure you check that out. Nas is like half man, half amazing. Where my Nas heads at? Let's see, points, 10.5. Has this gone up? Yeah, it's going up. So that's what I mean. 10.5 gets a little crazy. He went 12.5 because he was going over. And then this was, I guess, back at home. That's a crazy high line. I guess people were just betting all over him in that one after he went over with the 11 in this game. So they bumped it up to 12.5. That's silly. But now we're at 10.5. And like, that does mean that he would miss out on a few of these overs if you look at the 10 that he hits. I think PR is probably a better play for Nas. Let's look at that. So half the time he's gone over on the PR and a little better than half on just the points. But we should keep in mind the PRs are coming here at the end where he's needed for rebounding more. And he bumped up against this number in these last ones. Let me see what the best price is. I'm going to go over to Nas on Props Madness because that gives us the best line shopping. Don't be putting your house on anything, y'all. Just keep your house and just bet the amount of money you can afford to bet. I just see y'all talk about betting the house, which I know is a saying, but I hope that's clear. 10.5. I really wish this was 9.5, man. I really, really, really wish it. 24 minutes, 15 points, 9 shots, 5 for 9, 4 for 7, 4 for 12. All right, so we're talking about him versus Dallas, though. I think he's got to play a few more minutes. Like he's been good defensively. He's been good offensively. I just don't know. These lines are getting high and sharp. Like this is usually at 3.5 boards. And there's one 3.5 maybe hanging on DraftKings for the boards. Let's see if you can get a 3.5. There's no more 3.5s. It's changed on DraftKings even to 4.5. So people are betting the over on 3.5 boards for Nas Reed. So keep that in mind, yo. Let me pull up the what was I just going to look at? 4.5 plus 118 rebound chances. Rebound chances in this last game for Nas is like 5 rebound chances, and he pulled down 5 of them. So 5 for 5. That ain't going to happen consistently. 7. Yeah, I don't know if you want to add the rebounds. That's crazy to me. Maybe you think he gets a few more minutes because he played so well in this last game. What was his plus minus? Real quick. I'm going to go to that. See if that tells us. I mean, plus minus is not the end all be all, but it's helpful. Where you at? Nas, minus 11. Jeez, but he came, not a great look. Plus minus isn't everything, like I said, but it's at least an indication of how somebody played. He did go 3 for 6 from deep. Keep that in mind. 6 of his 9 shots were from 3, so he didn't get much going to the rim in this game. Took 4 free throws, though, missed 2 of them. So, yeah, I guess he did have 2 more shots than that. So he really had 11 field goal attempts. Keep that in mind when you're looking at how many shots somebody took. If they get fouled and they go to the line, it doesn't register as a shot, but they took a shot. They just got fouled, right? So this is 4 free throws indicates he went there twice, which means he took 11 shots, not these 4, which means he took a couple more shots from 2 than we're giving him credit for here, right? So keep that in mind. But man, this is tough for Nas. Like, it's a dude that I love to bet on because he keeps going back to it. Let's see if we can get him at like 8 and 3 or 4 rebounds, and if we like that, maybe in that sense. So I'm going to go to rebounds on FanDuel. We'll go to 4+ boards for Nas is going to be minus 165. That's not terrible. And then if I combine that with his points and I put it at like 8 to 10 or even just 10 instead of 10.5. Which gets rid of that hook. Plus 137. That might be how I play Nas a little bit more because I'm not necessarily as big of a fan of these high props for him once they keep rising the way that they have. I expect a good game from Nas. I'm going to put him in the leans as well, to be honest with you. And I'm going to look at slow-mo real quick because there might be something to slow-mo. We'll put Nas in here. I would say my favorite play for that, would probably be 10+ points / 4+ rebs for Nas Reed if you want to play it that way. All right, that's on the bottom line. Let's keep it moving because it's already 6:40 p.m., bro. Damn, where did the time go? Who did I waste all this time on? Was it Gafford and Lively? I only started 2 minutes late. Just trying to make sure I don't miss anything. All right, let's keep rolling with slow-mo. So slow-mo played how many minutes in this last game? Kyle Anderson played 17 minutes. Draymond was on the pregame being like, slow-mo is going to be important to this series, which, I mean, kind of, but like, is Draymond a fucking idiot? Honestly, I don't know. Anyway, Draymond might be an idiot. Kyle Anderson, I mean, he's like the smartest dumb person, I think, is kind of what he is. Yeah, I haven't gone over Conley yet, we the fifth, but I should get that up. He's on there, so we'll take a look at him. I'm fading Conley before I'm betting on him though, because I think the defense is going to be a liability moving forward for him, to be honest with you. So I think that's a huge part of this. But I am looking at. I don't want to have to bet on slow mo, dude. Please don't make me bet on slow mo. I wouldn't know what to bet on. In 17 minutes, he had 11 points because they want him to shoot. He took 8 shots because they want him to shoot. They were easier shots than they should have given him. And there was like 4 minutes left on the clock when he took one of these threes. And then there was like 3 minutes and 20 seconds left by the time he fired that bitch, because it takes him 40 damn seconds to load up that cannon to shoot that three. So keep that in mind. While we're on the subject though of role players, NAW right here, like he took 6 shots. This is also where they're going to funnel the ball on defense. Is like, yo, if NAW wants to shoot, by all means. Here's one thing to keep in mind real quick about that stuff. So this is another beautiful part about Props Madness is if you scroll down when you're on their points, you can see where they're shooting from and where the defense is best at defending, right? So I'm on the playoffs right now. Let me take that off. I'll just show you the whole season. For NAW, he's shooting 36% of his shots from the corner, 17 from this one, 19 from this one. Opponent defense, they are 5th worst from this corner and 8th worst from this corner, right? So this is the most vulnerable spot on the floor for the Dallas Mavericks defense, is the corner. And that is where NAW continues to shoot his shots in the playoffs as well. So I can change this to playoffs. He's still taking 33% of his shots from the corner. Just happens to be this one, right? And he has taken the bulk of them from up top as well, which this defense is better up top, 8th best in the playoffs. Well, actually, that's not that good. 8th best in the playoffs is not that good up top because it's out of 16 teams. 11th best on the season, though, right here. So that does make sense. But that's the thing about NAW is like, don't just be quick to go like, nah, he's not gonna get his because he sucked so bad on offense last game. Let me look at the playoffs real quick. For points, he's at 5.5. He's gone over this 58% of the time. He's averaging 8.4, but he was so key in that Phoenix series. And then he just sort of like his offense kind of fed off of his defense. The 5.5 is a key number because you can get 2 threes from him, but you might as well just take the threes at that point, right? Because over 1.5 is plus 130. And if that's he took 6 shots in this last game and 4 of them were from deep. I'm not going to take 2 of 4 shooting, but maybe it's a regression game for him. He's still at home. I would be avoiding NAW unders. Let me just put it that way. Don't go there. Don't do that. I'm passing on slow-mo. There's more fun people to look at right now. I'm going to support myself. I saw a couple looks for we need to talk about Rudy for sure, and we need to talk about Luka. Like, look, I told you all the best way that I found to play Luka in this game. I like his head-to-head stuff with Ant. Maybe you just like him to go over, so I can understand that. But yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I kind of like the points for Luka still, to be honest with you. I just that shot, like if you look at all the shots that he made, man, I know I showed you that earlier, but like all these shots that he made were just easy buckets, bro. They were just little bunnies in the lane. So I'm not fading Luka. If you want to go over on Luka points, that's where I'd be at. I'm going to put that in here as my lean too. Luka over 29.5 points. It's a bit high. And like, I'm not confident Kyrie's not going to do his thing. Like I'm still thinking like Kyrie might be doing his thing. So keep that in mind, man. We got to look at Jaden McDaniels too. So let me pull that up real quick. I'm going to look at Rudy. I'm going to look at JMD. I'm going to look. I think that I might be putting something on NAW. Like, I don't want to take 2 threes. If he takes 4, he's got to make 2 of them. I do think he's probably a good look in this one. I think he probably has a bounce back game, to be honest, and he'll still be out there for his defense. And honestly, like, you got to have him out there for more defense. It's either him or slow-mo, but you can't leave Ant on Kyrie and expect Ant to do stuff, man. You just can't. So I don't know what Finch is going to do. I honestly don't. But like the adjustments that I would be making in this game is more NAW. Rudy doesn't play drop defense. If that happens, still like NAW, don't like Luka points as much. So that's kind of why I'm staying away from Luka. And let me make that clear. I'm staying away from Luka because of the fact that I don't know if they're going to up that drop. They're going to do away with that drop defense or they're not. But just show you what I mean by drop defense. Hopefully you all are aware of what I mean by that. But I'm just going to show you Luka's made field goals real quick and hope that. All right, boom. This is a perfect example. There's the screen. What is Rudy doing right there? right? What's he doing? Goes forward. Now Luka comes at him and he just starts backpedaling. Now you can't let Luka stand in the lane right there. What are we talking? Like, that is this one. Yeah, that one goes in. Like, this is the beginning of the game. You cannot backpedal from the 3-point line down to the bucket. But the problem is Daniel Gafford's running right here, right? And so that means that he's got two guys that he's got to guard now. Jaden McDaniels just living on his hip, right? Living on the back of Luka's hip and just being like, oh shit, I can't get around him to get in front of him. That ain't good, man. That none of that is good. So keep that in mind real quick, that like, I don't know what they're doing unless they have Rudy come up and do that. This is a step back jump shot. This might be, yeah. Oh, look, Rudy going back. Rudy going back. Rudy, your guy isn't even there. Rudy, what are you doing? There's so much room for better defense here. So look at Gafford. Gafford's on Conley right now, and Rudy's still not going out to guard Luka. And if that's the directive, then fine. But now you're just still talking about Luka. There's nobody that he can't shoot over, man. I think he makes that one too. Yeah. So this is just terrible defense. You can't play that defense against this squad. You just can't. But that's why if that easy change means they should do it. If they do it, I said do, then yeah, he's not, he can't basically be, then Luka's points is not quite as good of a bet if they finally take that the hell away. And the answer, LeWare Smith, is probably nobody. I don't know, Scottie Pippen. What's he doing these days? Maybe he could guard Luka a little bit better. But with the rules the way they are, and Luka being the absolute bee with an itch that he is, and complaining every 3 seconds to the refs, I don't know who I dislike more between Luka and Cam, to be honest with you. It's probably Luka, actually. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Luka points. Let me look at Rudy Gobert and see what we like for him. I went under on the points last game. How many rebound chances did he have? I cannot believe this man has 7 rebounds. That's terrible, Rudy. What the fuck is wrong with you? To be fair to Rudy, he's getting it from all he's getting it from all angles. Mostly because he's in he is getting 2 dudes to come at him playing 48 minutes. Like, there's just fresh big men coming on the floor every second for him. So it's tough for him to guard that. That might be the best answer for him. So what about why not under on the PRA? Honestly, if we look at head to head, it's not going to matter much. But look at it. There was nobody here. This is a different beast. This is Dallas as one of the worst teams against centers in the league. And one of these was a blowout. It might've been this game on the 7th, but I think Rudy's still an under, bro, to be honest with you. The PRA, that might still be a pretty good look, is the Rudy unders. Let's see what he's been doing in the playoffs in general. Let's see if there's any reason to put him in this sheet in general. So he's averaging 24.4 PRA in the postseason, and that's in 34.6 minutes. And this is a very good team down low. This might be a bet already, man. Okay, but this is good. I like this. Hold on. Nicholas is saying Gobert addresses lack of aggressiveness after the game. He said he can't let them easy offensive boards, and that he has to do better. Yeah, that's the right thing to say. So maybe he knows that, but yeah, no, it's not worth nothing. You're right. It's something. Rudy. All right, let's put this in here. This is going to tell us to take an under. I'm pretty confident about that. Let's see what the actual number is here for Rudy. I'll stop doing that. Rudy Gobert, PRA. This is in the playoffs too, so that's good. PRA, the best number we get here if we, see this dropped down again. This opened at 27.5, by the way. So people with some intelligence, I would imagine, are taking unders on Rudy. I didn't look at, do I have JMD in here? My bad, dude. That's one other dude we should look at. I got Rudy, DJJ, and Conley, and JMD. And then we're going to get out of here. We'll look at that. All right. So in the middle of Rudy right now, 26.5. The best under number is -120. There's 17. If you have Bet365, which is pretty widely available, you can get -115. So we'll say the under is -115. The over -106 is the best number you can get. So Rudy, PRA. Come on, man. I like this in caps. Rudy, PRA. Line is 26.5. The under odds that I already forgot are -115. Minus odds for 27. Yeah, -115, Bet365. I decided that is a bet that enough of y'all have that I can play that. -105 to the over, whatever. Minutes average is 34.4, right? Prop average is 23.4, perhaps, what I say? 24.4. and the minutes average is 34.6. All right, 24.4, and this should be 34.6. And the projected minutes are what, like 34, 36? What do they got him at? Let's see what RotoWire has him at. 37. So that's why I said 36, whatever. All right. So we'll give him 37. That's fine. He's going to need to be out there. He played almost 37 in this last game. 37 probability to under. Okay. So the probability, the under is 115. The over is 105. Okay. 115 is 54. Give him 53%. Got to round down. Sorry, Rudy. 53 to the under. Over at 105 is going to be, what did I say? 51%, right? 51%. So there's not an edge either way, according to this, with the projected minutes at 37 and being a few more than this. I still like the under, but this is telling me it's not enough of an edge. So I'm going to pass on it for Rudy, even though, like I said, I prefer the under. I'm going to write that in there as well. I'm taking the lean is for Rudy under PRA, under 26.5 PRA. But what's interesting is if this was at 27.5, I feel like we'd probably have an edge. If we made this 27.5, now we're probably talking about, it's still a little bit more of an edge to the under, but not quite there. You see how that changed from like -4% to 1% just by giving one extra number on the PRA prop. I went from 26.5 to 27.5. That dropped it down even more, but there's nothing there for me. So I'm gonna pass on that for Rudy. I don't like cat underboards. I'm not sure if you're talking to me, we the fifth, but I don't like cat underboards. Don't hold me for my words, man. Don't hold me for my words. Talking about, it did sound like a gay porn, didn't it? Anyway, let's keep it moving. I'm looking at Conley now. I'm not betting on Rudy this game. I'm out on that. I'm gonna take that down right there. We got DJJ. We got Conley. So let me look at the PR again. I really, really felt like taking where am I at? I felt like going back to DJJ. I still think he's a good look, man. I think the model is still going to tell us to bet on Derrick Jones Jr. Let's see what his most current stuff is. So if I go to DJJ, where you at, Derrick? That shot was so broken in this last game. I mean, broken, man, disgusting looking. Let's just watch one. Just indulge me for 1 second. These threes were like, oh my God, I want to shoot it. Oh my God, I don't want to. Here we go. Oh God, I'm so scared right now. I'm Derrick Jones Jr. I don't want to. How did this go all the way back to him? Oh yeah, there we go. All right, boom on the wing. Oh God, damn, that is disgusting. Oof, that is a terrible basketball shot. What's the other? Oh God, somebody's running. What is this LaMelo Ball stuff? Like, our guy needs to figure that shot out, man. That's just, he does not look ready to shoot. So it's terrifying, and it scared me. I felt like I stole one by getting the PR in the last game. What is the PR now? Is it 12.5? Yeah, I got an 11.5, and that saved me last game because he got 12. So we got 11.5 at -120. Let's put it in here and see what we got for DJJ. DJJ PR, and we can look at some other stuff too for him, but 11.5. I think the best number I just saw was -120, right? The -120, -112. I don't have Betano, but -120 or -105 to the under. So the under we can get at -105. The over we can get -120. Hold up. And I do think his minutes are going to be a bit higher. Minutes average in the playoffs for Derrick. Where are you at, Derrick? Derrick Jones Jr. PR. I actually didn't even mind the PRA because his 2 assists last game actually helped him get over that too. If we get this, I'm just looking at his minutes, 30.8. And if you take away this one, I'd say 30.8 is still fair. But look, I mean, he's playing 35 in this last one. Well, 30.8 is what his minutes up to date are. For his projected minutes, they've got him at 33. Okay, so we'll give him 30.8 as his minutes average. And we're going to give him the prop average. What was that? My bad. PR, the prop average is 14.4, right? Over an 8 of 13 in the playoffs. Prop average is 14.4. Projected minutes are 34. All right. And then the -105 is going to be to the under. That is a 51% probability. The -120 is that 54%? Come on. -120 is 55%. with the rounding of the upness. 55%. It is still an edge to the over, which I knew it would be. 29%. And this is what helped me push me over the edge to take it last game. I don't hate that, man. Let's see. Hold on one sec. Yeah, they are going to have a lot of open looks. That's a pretty good point. Like DJJ and PR are going to have a lot of open looks. They got to knock them down, and it's make or miss league, right? We like to say it's a make or miss league. But that edge is still there for him. He took 9 shots. He made 4 of them. That could easily have been a bit better. I think I'm going back to it, man. But the 11.5, not the 12.5. Because once you get to 12.5, you probably lose some of this edge. Let me put this at 12.5. Let's see what that does for us. The 12.5s, the best number you're going to get here, minus 102, unless you want to go to Bovada, but minus 102 and minus 125 to the under. So minus 125. This is minus 102. And this all stays the same. But that means that the implied probability of minus 125 is 56%. So that's what the under probability is, right? 56%. That's telling us not to do it. Minus 102 is going to be 51%. We'll just say that. Still telling us to go over on the 12.5 for the minus 102 for real. So I think he's still a good look. He's going to have to get 35 minutes for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there for half a unit. I mean, that's my guy, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Derrick Jones Jr., and I'm being fully transparent. That's my guy because I bet on him to win both of the dunk contests that he won. So when America was mad that Aaron Gordon lost his dunk contest to Derrick Jones Jr., I was not mad. I was the only one. Or whoever else bet on him. But I'm putting that in there for half a unit. DJJ. Over, I'm taking the 11.5 too. It's not that much juice. What was the best number on his 11.5 though? 11.5. You can still get minus 120. I said right. Minus 120 DK is the best number there. 0.5 units for Derrick. All right. And the other thing I was saying too, real quick, is if you want to get a little bit freaky with it, which I mean, it didn't work out great last game. But if you wanted to, for Derrick Jones Jr., I would look at, I'm in DK right now. I'm in same game parlay. If I go to the points and rebounds for Derrick Jones, which, oh, wow, we're getting a bit of a boost here. We get 12.5 PRA at minus 140, or where are you at, DJJ, for the points and rebounds? No, not double. Points and rebounds. Come on, man, all the way at the bottom. Derrick Jones Jr. points and rebounds, 11.5, minus 120. And I parlay that with him to make a 3. That is something that is very correlated. So it gets me to plus 114, which I don't hate at all. And I might sprinkle back on that. I tried it last game, but look at what I'm looking at real quick. If I look at Derrick Jones Jr. in these playoffs, and let me put him at 11.5, right? I put him at 11.5. He's gone over this number in 9 of 13, right? But let's put it this way. Let's look at when you add 1 made 3, right? So let's say that this is at more than 1 3. If he makes 1 3, or let's do 1 to 3 threes, whatever. Now he's over hella more, better percentage. Like when he makes a 3, he goes over in the points and rebounds, basically, is the point that I'm trying to make. 5 of the 6 where he made 1 3. Where'd I go with the threes? Hold up. I got him to 1 to 2 threes. Let's say 1 to 3. Did he make 4 this playoffs? Wow, he made 4 one game. So if I go at least 1 3, now he's over in 7 of 8. Where he's made a 3, right? So he goes over when he hits a 3. Let's do, instead of that, we can do the 3s made, but let's do just less. Let's just do 0, right? So now he's only gone over, like when he doesn't get a 3, it's a lot harder for him to go over the PR. This is kind of the main point. So adding a 3 in there gets you a nice bit of juice. Plus you get, you're still in the same spot where it's like, this is super heavily correlated. So that's what I want to know. So I like that. If you want to add the 1 3, then I would go with that too. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Just to answer your question, G-Bag, I passed on Kyle Anderson stuff. I just don't know what I'm going to get from Slow-Mo. I think he would be a good addition to this defense, with the way that Conley's a bit of a liability. But then you might as well just go with NAW, who just because he's had a couple bad games, doesn't necessarily matter. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind. I put Derrick Jones Jr. in there. In fact, I am going to hit, do I add the 3 to my bet, or do I just leave it to get the 0.4 units back, basically 0.38 units back on this bet for Derrick Jones Jr. Keep that in mind. The 3 is a good addition to that bet. But yeah, no, that's where I'm at, homie. Is just like, I'm just staying away. He went 5 for 8. They let him shoot. I get it. But I don't know yet what the I just don't know what what am I trying to say? I don't know what the minutes are going to be. I don't know how Finch is going to make the adjustments. That's the word I'm freaking looking for. Adjustments. All right. We got 1 more minute to look at Mike Conley and JMD. Mike Conley, I just don't know how you can keep him on the floor for that long. Like he missed a lot of shots. So keep that in mind. I mean, he's had an incredible playoffs. If we look at the PRA, he's hit this in 8 of 11 with the 20.5. He only had 12 in this last game. But if we go back to the game log, right, he took 7 shots, 6 of them from deep, which is because of the way that they play defense on Ant. Honestly, that's what that came down to. But this game's at 8:30. That's good. So we have an hour and a half. I'm gonna roll out here in a sec. But Mike Conley is really escaping me in terms of what I should be doing here. Johnny, bro, chill, chill. What's Rogelio looks like a lawyer? That is not a good insult, bro. You got to do better than that. Looking like a lawyer means our man gets money, so we got to do a little better if we're gonna be clever with the insults. But let's be nice to each other, right? We're all trying to make money here. Anyway, I did not say that I have a best bet or not. What would be my favorite bet in this one? I love my PJ bet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the PJ bet and I love the Luka under turnovers bet, but they're like my babies, so I don't have a favorite one unless one of them wins. That's my favorite fucking bet, is the one that hits and gets me the most money. But the one I feel most confident in would probably be those two. Would be PJ's little same game parlay and also the rebounds for PJ. And I don't have a problem with just taking the PJ for the PR. In fact, I might need to do that, to be honest with you, is just hit the PR. But I'm giving out these bets right here. So for Conley, man, I don't know why we wouldn't go under. I don't know why. Let me take a look at some of these Conley shots. That's what I'm going to do with y'all. I'm going to take a look at these 7 shots that he took, 6 of them from deep. Conley running finger roll layup. This was on the break. Nobody picked him up. So this is in transition, and he just one arm scooped that thing. Let's see. Cat back to Mike. Mike from 3. Yeah, everything else is a 3. I just remembered that. His first shot of the game was a finger roll, and the next 6 shots that he took were all from deep. I'm trying to see what the kind of action they were off of and how Ant was a part of that. Okay, it was just when he was on one side of the floor. It's mostly him just trying to play with Rudy. So in the last game, Mike's shots came a lot off of Ant getting double team and blitzed, and he's not getting that anymore. Oh, that's not fair. He had to take that full court shot. Pull-up jumper right here. I think it's another 3. This is going to be all his shots. Is pull-up jumpers from deep because he's coming around a screen. So he hits those, and you're in a lot different. I mean, he hits 2 of those, and, right, he gets 6 more points. He's in a pretty good spot. What was his actual number in this last game? He had 6 points. So he gets 6 more points. He's at 12. Now he's at this, like, the other thing, though, is the rebound chances probably aren't there for him anymore. The potential assists, they were at 11 to get 3. So, yeah, I wouldn't just blindly fade Mike Conley like, this is just a good time to get under it. I feel you on that. You can get 23 PRA with the 5th. Is that accurate? Or are you talking about like an alt line maybe on his PRA that you can go under for Mike Conley? 19.5. It's been bet down by some people, right? It was at 20.5. It was 21.5, I think, in game 1, right here. But yeah, man, I mean, I wouldn't just be rushing to go under on Mike Conley because he had a bad game last game. Like I said, like, put it this way, he missed 5 threes that were good looks. I just showed you, like, those were not bad looks other than his full court shot. Okay, the 23.5, I can fuck with. I get that. Let's put Mike in here real quick, and I'll just show you what the model says. And like I keep saying, the model is only there to guide us and tell us if we're getting ripped off on the price. It is not there to just take everything into consideration. It doesn't take anything into consideration except for the raw numbers. You can't get a 21.5 under. Yeah, this is still not pulling through. So what's the best number here for Mike? So he's at 21.1 PRA in the playoffs in 32.2 minutes. Let's do Mike C PRA 20.5. And I was just doing the minutes, 32.2 minutes. Prop average is 21.7, right? That's what I just said. 21.1 in 32.2 minutes. All right. 21.1 is the average. Projected minutes tonight. This is an interesting one to me because this is something I don't think that you can accurately project because he might be getting a few less minutes. But let's give him the 32 that they got him here for. 32 projected minutes minus, and let's look at the odds real quick for the 20. Let's keep it on 20 and a half. Wow. I think we're talking about the under. So we'll start with the 20 and a half on the under if you can get that. So the best place to get that would be ESPN Bet if you got it. Caesars ain't bad. Bet365 has minus 120. So we'll go with that for the under. And the best over price is minus 105. All right. Minus 105 and minus 120. So over odds minus, I already forgot, man. The best odds here, minus 105 to the over, minus 120 to the under. Jesus. Over is minus 105, under minus 120. Let's see how the model, if you want to call it that, even figures this one out. So the minus 120 and minus 105, I know the minus 105 is going to be 52%, and the minus 120, the 120 is 55%. So that's the under the probability, 55%. There's no edge either way. It makes sense to me. Let's do it with the 19.5 real quick. 19.5. The over odds are, minus 105 and minus 113. Interesting. Okay, so the over is minus 105 here, and the under is minus 113 here. These books are not in agreement on Mike Conley right now, y'all. What does this do? So minus 105, we said that's the same 52% to the over. It gives us a little bit more of an edge to the over, but it's still not 10%. So you see how that works, right? Like it was at 20 and a half. With that number at 20 and a half, it was like, nah, don't go over and don't go under. With the 19 and a half, it's like, you're close to being able to go over, but I wouldn't go under. So I'm not going to make a bet on Mike based on that, essentially. So I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to pass on Mike, but I would lean. I don't have a lean. I'll be honest with you. There's no lean. Mike Conley is a straight pass, PRA. I'm going to put the hand up. So this little hand up emoji is indicating do not bet. I'm not betting on Mike Conley, essentially. And I can look if there's anything else for like the dimes or I don't think the dimes are there. I think the points are the best because of the way that he was playing in that first game, where it was like, yo, I'm coming off these screens and I'm just taking shots because I'm not even playing with Ant Edwards, honestly. Like there was not much synchronicity there. So last one I'm gonna look at is JMD, right? And what I said from the jump was JMD has Luka Doncic guarding him. That's a good place to start for why you should bet on him. Plus, he looks like Mike, he basically is Jaden, Reggie Miller, McDaniels right now. Do you think he's going to go 6 for 9 again? I don't know, but he only needs 11 and a half points. Rebound chances were mad low. Rebound chances were mad low as well. Where are those at? Where them bitches at? So 7.8. And he had more against Phoenix, really, and then really didn't have any against this freaking Denver team. And he had 7 rebound chances for 4 boards in the last game for Jaden. There's nothing here for me, man. If you want to go back to the points, I get it. Dude's been wicked hot. Let's look at Jaden real quick. Jaden McDaniels last 3 games. Because in these last 3 games, he's gone bonkers. Right, but what's he shooting from the field? 68.6% and making 2 of every 3 threes, 4 of every man, nothing is going to tell you to bet that other than you think that dude just keeps splashing. Honestly, that's it. So I'm going to pass on JMD too. I'm going to get these bets into the Discord right now. I'm going to get the stuff here into the comments on the YouTube video and pin it. So make sure you check that out. I'll be coming back tomorrow, by the way, for all those of you that are still in here. I'm coming back tomorrow. Let me update this real quick for the Boston at Indy series. We're going to get that game 3 live stream going. I believe that game starts. When does that game start real quick? Tomorrow, 8:30. This is today. This game is at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, so we should probably do this at about 3:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So that's going to be when we do this tomorrow is 3:30 p.m. Eastern. On Saturday, that should say Saturday. Do better. Just so it's up and y'all can see it. Saturday, we're going to have this going tomorrow, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Going to get the video up tonight for the projections and looks at this game tomorrow. Already got a bet on it for those of y'all that are still here. If you do want to bet on something tomorrow, I love Miles Turner under 1.5 blocks. Shout out Daft for bringing that up. I'm gonna, for sure, Johnny. I'm gonna start covering the WNBA because I love it, honestly. And there's some soft lines out there for the WNBA, so I'll definitely get into that. But I'm hyper focused on this NBA, these NBA games, which we have every day, right? So it's a little bit much to put out 2 videos like that right now when I really want to make sure I get these bets down. Plus, I like showing you guys the breakdown, like I showed you earlier. You're gonna be getting some of this stuff where I'm like looking at what the matchups were in the last game, so you can kind of see who I like and what I like. Whenever there's something relevant, like this shot chart was hyper relevant today for Luka, all that stuff, right? So we'll be coming back with all that stuff tomorrow, tonight for tomorrow, and then for tomorrow, we already got these looks. Look at my guy, Free Sauce coming in. Hallie might be out tomorrow. That's true. I love Pascal. I took him as well, so no shade there. Cat did not drop 62, Isaac Ballsack, but maybe you meant 32. Ant Edwards, 30 plus. I love it. Cool. All good with that. But we're going to look at, Nembhard is a bet. Pascal is a bet. Bet all of that. You already know. That is for sure bets right there. Come into the to the Discord, y'all, though, because this is where we have these conversations every day. Appreciate Free Sauce being in there. My guy has his channel where he's dropping his plays as well. And we're all learning together. So keep that in mind. Jump in there if you want some more. I'm going to put the bets in there. We got links to all the tools that I'm using so you guys can get that stuff and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But keep all that in mind. All right. And then I'll be back tonight and tomorrow. I don't know, man. We get some crazy names in here for sure. But good looks for sure. Nembhard is already a bet. I don't care if Hallie's out or not. I think Nembhard is a good bet right now. Kid is playing well. Miles Turner under 1.5 blocks. Pascal to get some points. I'm with all that. So jump in the Discord if you want to get more of that stuff. I'm going to take off for now. Good luck tonight. See y'all in the Discord in a minute, and happy betting.